You need to sleep, but restless thoughts of unresolved issues keep you from relaxing. It happens to everyone from time to time. Cognitive scientist Luke Boduoin has developed a fail-safe technique for falling asleep. It's a trick for our minds to interrupt the flow of thoughts, relax and fall into sleep in a matter of minutes, even if you were stressed before. The technique is very simple. It seems amazing that no one has thought of it before. Forget social media and soap operas before bed. It will only distract you from falling asleep. Try the technique of cognitive shuffling or cognitive shuffle. It will save you a lot of time. The technique is to mentally say random words. Try to keep the words from being logically connected to each other. As you do so, visualize the pictures that come to mind with those words. Try to say the words and change the pictures often enough so that the mind does not have time to concentrate on one thing at a time. This method can be compared to meditation. It allows you to quickly switch from logical thinking to imagination. In fact, you reduce the activity of the left hemisphere of the brain, responsible for logic, and turn on the right, responsible for creativity, imagination, and fantasy. However, compared to classical meditation, you don't have to practice concentration for a long time. You'll get it right the first time. The technique of shuffling thoughts is a real salvation for sufferers of insomnia caused by stress and overwork, because it is the endless stream of stressful thoughts that prevents sleep, and it is precisely it that we turn off. Here are some tips on how to practice cognitive reshuffling. A selection of random words went to bed. Make sure nothing will interfere with falling asleep. The room is dark and quiet, and start picking up random words that are not related in any way. For example, cat, leaf, candle, waterfall, astronaut, gold, and so on. Repeat them in your mind until you feel yourself starting to fall asleep. Making up one-letter words. Pick any letter of the alphabet. Start counting the beats of your heart, and every 8 beats come up with a word for that letter. Not only does it distract your brain, but it also mimics the so-called micro-dreams we experience when we start to fall asleep. Alphabetical listing. Another option is to think of an A word and keep listing items for each letter of the alphabet until you fall asleep. Try to imagine what the objects or phenomena you are naming look like. What to do if the method doesn't work? Just because the mind-shuffling method didn't work on the first try doesn't mean it doesn't work in principle. Better to think about what's keeping you from relaxing. Here are some tips that may help. Create a bedtime ritual that will help your body and mind prepare for sleep. It could be reading a book, meditating, listening to calm music or light yoga. The key is to do the same thing regularly, every night. Avoid stimulating substances a few hours before bedtime, such as caffeine, nicotine. It's also worth giving up your phone before bedtime. Blue screen light disrupts the circadian rhythm. Try the 478 deep breathing technique. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold your breath for 7 seconds, and exhale for 8 seconds. Such breathing will relieve tension and speed up falling asleep. Do some light exercise, such as quiet stretching, yoga, low-intensity home exercises, or just a quiet walk in the fresh air. This should happen a few hours before bedtime so that the body has time to calm down and prepare for rest. With daily practice will come mastery. When this technique is perfected, you can move on to a more complex and effective practice. It consists of the following. You need to close your eyes, remove yourself from your everyday thoughts, relax and watch your brain generate images as if from the outside. You don't have to try to influence or purposely manipulate these images. On the contrary, you need to let go of the process and become a bystander. Falling asleep will happen imperceptibly while mastering the next stage of meditative practice.
This content is for informational and educational purposes only. Consult with a doctor or healthcare professional before following any recommendations provided in this video. Tell us about your experience in the comments and subscribe to our channel.